Alright, put an extra temperature gauge in the camera here. Just gotta focus on it. It's the part number. For it. You got to get a reducer. I forget, I think it's 1/2 to 3/8, I believe. That's what this is. Alright. Pull this tape I have this on here to protect this. I'll clean this up already with a Scotch-Brite pad. Just have this tape on here to keep stuff out of the exhaust manifold. I'm putting the studs in. I put some right stuff on there just to make sure. These already have a little bit of coating on there, but I just want to make sure. This goes into coolant passages again, so you just want to make sure it's sealed up. I'm getting a couple nuts to double nut it, drive it in there. Here's a new gasket. It's gonna go on there. Snugging this up, you want to make sure this clamp stays at a right angle. starting to snug up now, so just make sure that's alongside the gasket. I gotta better position this. I got it sitting on a 2 or 4 to help it kind of sit in the right spot. Just trying to get it snug down close. Get this other end down here. This side over here needs to go down a little bit. Loosen it just a touch. There we go. You can see when it kind of settles in where it's supposed to be. We're not going to get too crazy with tightening it down because we're going to torque it. So we got our torque wrench. These are torqued to 30 to 35 foot-pounds. So I'm going to start off torquing it to 30 foot-pounds. I think that was it. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. I think it's because it's hitting the side there. There it is. I'm going to go from one end to the other, so we're drawing it down across. One more down here. Alright, that's 30. We'll reset our torque wrench to 35. It doesn't seem like a lot of torque, but you got to remember when this thing heats up, it'll expand and it creates more clamping force. So 35, 35. All right, this side's all set. Gonna go to the passenger side. All right, Junior's gonna pull the tape off here. Jacob is his name. Got a nice clean surface. Go over it again with the Scotch-Brite. Let me get the got a little coolant that ran out down there, so we'll wipe that up. Remember, anything that gets into these exhaust manifolds, when this thing gets fired up, it's going to go into the turbo. You don't want that. So one little tip, I got my right stuff here and I reuse it. So I take a wire nut, since I'm an electrician, put that wire nut on the end of there. It helps keep that stuff so it doesn't dry out so much. The tip usually dries out a little bit, but that's about it. And then you can just push a little bit of that dried out tip and reuse it. All right, gasket. So I'm up on top of the engine, just by in front of the air compressor, or behind the air compressor, I guess you could say. But I pulled the tach drive off, so you get this little clip that fits on there, and then the actual tach drive just comes out. So it's got a little flat thing there, and then that goes into the, I don't know if you can see down in there. It's too dark probably. But so it fits in the slot in there. Sort of see it there. Looks like what's happening is that there's a gasket on here. It's failed. So I got some new seals, but it's not that seal, so I'm gonna have to do a little more research. But that's where I think I'm getting a lot of oil back here. Looks like it's coming from that tach drive seal. Alright, so I had ordered some parts and pieces to fix this thing, and I ordered what they had listed in the book for the gasket, but this was not the gasket, so I ended up making a gasket to go between that. So this little parts of the gasket left over here. So this is the tach drive, and then get this guy out of there. So you see that goes down inside of there and then turns the vertical. So I put some extra oil in there just to make sure it's lubricated. I'm turning this so the holes are toward the bottom, so the oil will go in and then drain out. So I'm going to put my little homemade gasket on there. And then this is actually what holds the tach drive on. So this goes around it, and then the bolt goes down and then pushes this. This clamps on the block, or the gear drive, and then sucks this thing in and seals that up against the face in there. And I'll show you that in the block up there. Alright, so this here is the mating face, where that's going to mate up to the gear set. Well, actually it's the back of the blower, I'm sorry. You see, I think this thing has been leaking. I think this is where all the oil's been coming from. So you don't want to get too crazy tightening that. It's just pushing onto the housing of that tach drive, and it's just aluminum, I'm assuming, or pot metal. That's what it should look like. Hopefully that seals that up. Now we'll be able to clean down in here and get some of this junk off. We'll make this some connections here, reconnect it with some removable connectors, so that way we can take it back off if we need to again. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of a tune-up. I'm just setting the injectors. When I did some work in here previously, I didn't reset the injectors, and it's been running a little bit rough, so I want to go ahead and check all those injectors' heights just to see if that'll cure its running issue. Alright, so here's the firing order of this engine, and if you notice that the left and right are, I've noted on here, are kind of backwards as you're looking at it. So it's kind of weird. It's backwards twice, I'm going to say. And what I mean by that is that as you're looking at this engine, the left and the right is by where the flywheel is located. So the flywheel is backwards in this application because it's a pusher bus. So it's a water lodge pusher. And also, but the cylinder count though starts as it's closer to me. So the number 3 is actually towards the back of the engine by the flywheel. So 3, 2, 1. And the same thing on this side, 3, 2, 1. So this is right. As you look closer toward the transmission, that's right 3, right 2, right 1. And then on this side, that's left 3, left 2, left 1. So it's a little bit confusing. I'm not sure why they did that, but I guess because of the many different applications this engine could be used in, it's just how they designated them. But so right now we have the right side, number 3, the injector's depressed. So if you can see that injector plunger is being depressed. So right 3, and then it'll start over the next one that'll be depressed after right 3 will be left 3. So that's right across from it. So that's how this basically starts, is this left one is the first fire, then you go opposite corner to right 3, then to left 3, the opposite side, and then it goes diagonal from there. So from left 3 it goes to right 2, the next one forward, then straight across to left 2, and then diagonal again to right 1, and then back to left 1. So that makes it a little easier to remember. You can kind of start at this front side, go diagonal, then across, diagonal, then across, diagonal, then back across again. If that makes any sense. So I'm going to turn the engine over till I see these exhaust valves hit the bottom. You see they're starting to go down now. So they're fully depressed now. So that's L1. And then now we're going to check the injector height and adjust injector height while those exhaust valves are fully depressed. Alright, so we're going to loosen the jam nut. So you can see there, just a little bit off. Pretty close. You can see it's just wiping the oil on the top of there. That's where we want to be at. We don't want it to ride off of there. So I'm going to call that good. Alright, so I'm going to tighten this guy down. See, we didn't get too much deflection. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, we only got 1/1000, so that is pretty darn close. So we're pumping the coolant. This is just a little Actually, it's a pump I got with a thing for actually a portable parts washer. Yeah, portable parts. So we're pumping the coolant in. We got all the rest of it put back together. Got the new valves in for the coolant. There's one down there. It's hard to see. There's one here. This one, like I said, we're not using that one, so it's just a drain if I ever need it. But all the rest of the parts are back in. Cooling system, the exhaust. So, exhaust manifolds are on, ready to go. We did a little bit detour work, but it wasn't a bad job. Got a new little temperature gauge. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe and give a thumbs up. We'll be doing a test run video hopefully shortly, and maybe even a test drive. Thanks for watching.